Thank you. I see it recording now. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Julie. Take it away. Looking forward to it.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I think just about everybody has heard about SmartPath, so I don't want to take a whole lot of time talking about it. I'd like to spend more time showing it to you, including the latest edition of Puppets, and to kind of walk you through how we've been using it in this environment, in a hybrid environment, and to give you some ideas about how you can use it as well. It's a digital platform. It covers grades K through 8. It's truly an out-of-the-box kind of resource, so you really don't need a lot of training. When we do teacher training, it takes an hour, and that's just because we're kind of control freaks and we want to make sure everybody's very, very comfortable with it, particularly the assessment component. Consists of animated characters. That's one of them, Ronan or Toby, I don't know which. Has a variety of learning modalities associated with it. So there's online videos with stories, there's drag and drops, there's traditional classroom activities. So lots of different ways for students to become engaged. It is fairly unique in this space. It's won 3 national awards, one from our organization, an Eiffel Award and a Lighting the Way Award. Generally, and we've been doing this 3 years now, so it's still, like, it's relatively new, but we get a 30 to 35% increase in student knowledge post over pre. So that's a pretty healthy gain, and that's been consistent over the years and over the grades. It also focuses on critical thinking, not just memorizing some vocabulary words. Students have to figure out what's the most important thing versus the least important thing to spend money on to achieve goals. They have to figure out, you know, how do I reach a savings goal, how much to save each term. So it really focuses on decision making rather than rote memorization. It's heavily integrated into other subjects, particularly math, big on math. The content is not banded, so it's not a grade 3 to 5, grade 6 to 8. Each level, we call them levels instead of grades, each level has its own content, story, and assessment. There's a lot of developmental and cognitive difference between a 3rd grader and a 5th grader, so we didn't want to lump them together. It was designed to be a teacher-led on-site resource, but it can also be a teacher-led remote resource. Parents can do it. We've had a lot of parents, particularly last spring, as they suddenly found themselves in the role of teacher. We've had a lot of parents engage in it, and it can also be student self-paced as well. And it represents an opportunity for centers and councils to use the resource. It's free, so you can use it, but you can also use it to raise some money. I'll talk about that in a bit. And then, of course, we added some puppets, because everything's better with puppets. So let me shift and kind of walk you through the platform. When you type in smartpathlearning.com, you're brought here. Just a bit about what it is, all that kind of stuff, some testimonials. And when you log in or register, again, it's free. You're brought here. This particular one is branded by a sponsor. So again, the opportunity for centers and councils, you can use this as a new product to approach a potential sponsor. If they're looking for something a little different, you can take this to them. Teachers or anyone logging in are brought here. One of the other things that makes this unique is the user has access to all the levels. So this makes it particularly good for teachers. You know, they have standards to be met, but those standards are often met not until the end of the academic year. So if you're implementing SmartPath in the beginning of the year, you may think, well, you know, maybe level 3, if I'm a 3rd grade teacher, maybe that's too high. I need to drop down a level or 2. That's fine. Teachers have told us that when they finish the level that corresponds to their grade, the kids have been saying, can we go on? So, yes, they can. So all of the levels are available to everyone, so teachers can go down, go up as they want. One of the uses that we're getting a lot of play with, and we didn't think of this, teachers came to us with this, is students with special needs. We've had a lot of high school teachers attend our trainings, even though we think chops off at grade 8. A lot of high school teachers have attended trainings saying, I teach a lot of students with special needs and they desperately need this content. They're very vulnerable and they definitely need this content. But the materials we found have either been poor, inaccurate, boring. So we have a lot of interest with intervention specialists, with teachers and parents of kids with special needs. Every level and every grade, keep an eye on the time here, every level and every grade is structured exactly the same. In the overview tab, there's a summary here of what the story is about. Level 1 is about Blackbeard the pirate and the attempt to capture him. There's also a little summary of economic and financial education concepts. Again, every level has this core mapping section. This one has Ohio and it has Jumpstart standards as well. So when a state is sponsored, for example, Fifth Third sponsored Ohio, Michigan, and Florida. When a state is sponsored, when teachers register and then sign up, what they will see is their state standards. We do all that crosswalk work. And so a teacher from Florida signs up, they'll see Florida's standards. A teacher from New Mexico registers, they'll see New Mexico's standards. But we lay out the standards for every level. Pre-assessment, that's for us being able to collect the data for pre and post assessments to report back to any potential funder. Again, you don't need a funder to use it in your state. It's just that Ohio is going to be your default standards. Every lesson in every grade, again, follows this, this kind of format. Major concept in level 1, it's goods and services, the learning objectives. If there are any hard copy materials that's needed for an in-class activity, those are presented in PDF form here. Obviously with this lesson there are none. In lesson 3 though, let me just show you what there is something. There's a trading game, so that looks like that. And then the kind of run of show of the lesson follows underneath. So teachers find this really, really convenient, just so they can time things out. So the opening video takes about 6 minutes. Then there's an interactive, a drag and drop that can be done on the computer. That takes about 4. There's a discussion and here's the prompt. So everything is timed out for the teacher so they know how long it's going to take and so they know how to chop it up. I mentioned that SmartPath can also be used in a student-led kind of environment. That's easily done by teachers just sending this URL up at the top. Once you get into the lesson, I'm not going to demo a lesson, but when you click enter lesson and start it, if you copy that URL at the top, it can be sent to students and then they can just kind of go through it on their own. There's review and assessment. Assessments can be done either of two ways. They can be printed out the old-fashioned way and delivered in class. They can also be done on the platform itself. Just a privacy note, we on the back end as administrators of the platform do not see individual student outcomes. That's just wow, that's a can of worms. We do not see individual student outcomes. We see aggregated outcomes by class. And again, that's what allows us to compare post to pre and report to any funders that we have. But we do not see individual student outcomes. Teachers do. So I created a little demo class here with two students, Bert Muppet and Ernie Muppet. And what this returns to the teacher is the final grade. Ernie is a much better student than Bert, which we all knew anyway. The green dots represent correct answers to the questions. The red dots indicate incorrect. So if I'm a teacher and I'm looking at this and I think, oh man, there's a big column of red dots. If I hover over that, the question to which that dot is associated opens up, and also the standard that's associated with that. Teachers really like when I do in-person trainings and I get to that part, teachers audibly gasp, which is kind of strange, but they seem to really like that. Levels 1 through 6 also have a homework component. Very simple little two-sided thing. Just extends what's been going on in the lesson. These two things, this dark rectangle and this dark square, those are augmented reality marks. There's instructions here, but if you download an app called Zapper, Z-A-P-P-A-R, it's a free download, works like a QR code reader. So you just hold it over there and it takes you to a little 1.5-minute kind of video. Has no academic content whatsoever. It's just a fun way to kind of extend back to the home to tell folks what you're doing. Okay, the videos, the puppets. We partnered with our local public TV station, CET, and just a pretty amazing ventriloquist, singer, to produce a series of videos. Each of the videos has some ancillary classroom material associated with it. Somebody speak up. Everyone's seeing this Kevin Becomes Famous on the screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Thank you. Just want to check in before I launch this. So if I pick Kevin Becomes Famous, this is my personal favorite. So there's additional resources. There's a crossword, there's a cursive writing practice using some of the keywords from the lesson. There's a word search, there's a little bio about Kevin. We are having full-fledged lesson plans written. There will be 2 per video, so 12 altogether. Kevin's is already done, and then there's also a reading, a comprehension and reading resources as well. So we don't have time to see the whole video, but let me just kind of set you up here. The deal is that Timmy and Tammy run a candy store, or their dad does, and Kevin comes in and wants to buy some candy, and he wants to pay for it with his street cred. So they have to explain to Kevin that that street cred is not a form of payment. You can't make purchases from that. And so they suggest to him that he go out. He's very talented. He's a very talented musician. So they suggest to him that he go and make a mixtape sell a bunch, and then he'll make money, and he can come back, and then he can buy candy. So here we go.
Timmy, do you think we need any changes to our inventory?
Yeah, sis. I think we need more snacker thinkers.
What's up, what's up, what's up? It's Young Kev.
Kevin!
Yo, I took y'all's advice and made a mixtape. And guess what?
What?
I got signed to a record deal with the famous rapper Paisley.
Okay, Kevin.
Bow wow, Bobble.
And now I got one of these. My very own credit card.
Stop playing.
And I got the cash to back it up.
That's wonderful. So what'll it be?
I sold 1 million records, now I got a way to pay. Got dollars in my wallet and the rest is in the bank. I bank with Piggy, they saving money. Candy ain't free, I pay with this cheese. Give me cash money candy.
Now you can't pay me.
Cash money candy.
Feels like you're thirsty.
If you got a form of payment,
You can buy your candy.
payment,
Candy.
payment.
He put his cash in the bank of Piggy, and they gave him a debit card. The debit card takes fast on the Piggy, so now he can buy him a candy store.
If I don't want to use any funds from my bank, I could borrow Kitty's funds with the card in my name. It's called a credit card. You can spend it like a star, but you gotta pay it back, so don't go too hard. Give me credit card candy.
Now you can't pay me.
Credit card candy.
Don't get carried away. Credit cards have the limit.
You can't spend past the max.
Credit cards charge you interest.
When you're slow to pay kitty back.
Interest is the cost of borrowing. If you don't pay back, the cost keeps growing.
The cost of your candy goes from $1, $2, $3. Interest.
Just take kitty back.
Give me credit card candy.
Now you can't pay me.
Cash money candy.
Feels like you're thirsty.
Debit card candy.
Debit card candy.
Cash money candy.
Cash money candy. Oh, I thought we were still singing.
So that kind of gives you an idea of what we've been up to. The other puppet videos, Blackbeard, again, as I said, level 1 was about Blackbeard and his capture. One of the videos is Blackbeard keeps shooting cannonballs at the guy who's trying to capture him. And, you know, his mateys down here, matey 1 and matey 2 and Reginald there in the middle, they keep trying to tell him that he's running out of cannonballs, that they're scarce, and he just keeps firing. And so that doesn't turn out well. The other one with Blackbeard, his parrot baby, since her boss is captured, she has to decide about 2 different futures for herself. So there's that decision. Good Boy gets his name. If just as a aside, Good Boy the dog is barked by Bootsy Collins. Bootsy is a Funkadelic Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. I played backup to James Brown, and he was incredibly generous with his time and his talent. He produced several of the music videos in these in this project, but he also was the voice of Good Boy the dog. There's also there she is. This is Scarcity Cat. Scarcity Cat runs a market, and she's a nervous little thing. She's worried that she's not pricing her goods correctly and that she'll run out. There's a lot of lessons there as well. There's one additional music video associated with Scarcity Cat. Bootsy, being the professional that he is, won't let it go until it's absolutely perfect. So we're waiting on that one. So I want to leave plenty of time for questions. We have about 10 minutes left. So I want to leave plenty of time for questions, particularly about how you can use it. If, as I said, it's an opportunity for centers and councils to share it as is, or to raise money around it. We've written a whole lot of grants around this. So, you know, if you need help writing a grant, let me know. I have words. I have a lot of words. We can fill in a lot of your grant boxes for you. If you want me to present to a potential funder, to your board, happy to do that. I put together a little customized deck for wherever your location is. Happy to walk through a board or a potential funder with that and do little demos like I've just done here. Again, you know, just let me know how we can be of help, and we're happy to do that. Yes, we do have some promo pieces to answer Tawny's question. So yeah, happy to share those too. Here, I'm trying to go back up to the top because I couldn't see this when I was sharing. I love the SmartPath platform. Thank you so much. SmartPath for the win. Is there a recommended amount for state sponsorship? What we have been saying, what we have been doing is 100,000 for 250 teachers or 50,000 for 125 teachers. For that, a sponsor gets white labeling, as you saw at the top, the Fifth Third Foundation. White labeling throughout the platform. The label doesn't just occur on the front page, it goes for every page. Quarterly reports, well, reports with any frequency, but quarterly reports. There's also a student certificate that's automatically generated for the teachers that has the logo of the sponsor on it. A teacher just has to sign, it automatically populates the student's name. But we will, and of course then it's customized to state standards. From a sponsor standpoint, what we found is often this is a combination from the marketing department and also CRA. So often funders can pool resources from two different sections of the organization, and that tends to work out really well. Other funding comes from grants. So, you know, if there's a smaller amount, you know, just let me know and we can talk about that. Let's see. Oops. The PBS station, it's showing, yes, it is on PBS Learning Media. It is also showing up in Dayton. Whether it can appear on any particular PBS station or not depends upon how long their programming blocks are. And apparently that varies. I know so much more about PBS and puppeteering and set building than I ever. This has just been a blast. Let me tell you, as an aside, professionally, this has been the most fun I have ever had in my career. We keep the puppets at the office, and sometimes that gets really super creepy, especially if you're working late. But other than that, it's just been a blast. So it depends. I would encourage you, if you have a relationship with your PBS station, have them reach out to WCET here in Cincinnati, and you know they're going to share. But it is on PBS Learning Media now, when everything went down in the spring, Cincinnati Public Schools, check the time, Cincinnati Public Schools has almost half of their students that do not have internet access. So what they did was they started CPS TV. So CPS came to us and said, so we have this CPS TV now, but we don't have anything to put on it. So we put together a bunch of videos and stuff using, of course, both the platform and these puppet videos that they ran then on CPS TV during the lockdown. And even now in the fall, they are still running CPS TV. So if your area is also doing something like that, you know, and you want something to come from you to help further that relationship, let us know. You're more than welcome to have use of the videos that we put together. That would be our pleasure. There's no problem. How can we learn more about securing funding, target marketing? Yeah, that's going to be so specific to your location. Again, my hope when way back when we were first developing the platform, my hope was that this would be a source of strength for the network. You know, you can use it as is, free. Go use it, you know, train teachers with it. But if you don't at least think a little bit about how can I make money from using this, then you should think a little deeper. You know, almost all the money stays with you. You know, we take a little bit of a fee for the customization and producing the reports and sending teacher stipends out and all that kind of stuff. But really think about how you can use this to open new funding portals for you, whether that's writing a grant just as is, whether that's writing a grant to organizations in your state that focus on students with special needs, whether that's approaching a financial institution, you know, whatever that may be. And again, any support you need, let me know and I can provide it to you. We have been down all of these roads and we have all the words. So, and again, you know, if you would like me to present, happy to do that too. Let's see. Yes, we do have promo pieces. Just shoot me an email, julia.heath@uc.edu. I can put it in the chat as well, julia.heath@uc.edu. Yes, it's available to families that homeschooling. Yeah, everybody needs an account, but it's free. You just, when you go to smartpathlearning.com, up in the top right, it has video, platform, sign up or log in. You know, click sign up or log in, create an account, and off you go. That's all you need. 1 minute to spare. Any other questions? So if a teacher's using it with students at home, do the students have to, that's a great question, Sandy. No, the students do not have to have an account. That's what I was saying, you know, like if you go into a lesson, if you go into one of those lessons, all a teacher has to do is copy that URL that's at the top and send it to students, and then they can do lesson 1. So students do not have to have an account. And we have some, we also have on that platform, that smartpathlearning.com platform, we have some video tutorials. And one of them is about how to do that for teachers. So no, they do not have to have an account. Yes, you would think they would help. any other questions that I can answer, shoot me an email. Let me add my email here.
Super awesome, as always, Julie. I love SmartPath. Super great resource. They're so flexible, versatile. There's so much we can do with it. So thank you for being here and presenting on it today.
You're very welcome. And sorry about that song being in your head for the rest of today.
That's a bonus. All right. So we're going to transition one last session. So